Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Let's talk about Caitlyn and the launch of 2XKO. So the footage you're seeing here is the gameplay that I had at Riot headquarters. And quickly, I am obligated to note, this was not the final build, just FYI. And we only got to play for a few hours. It wasn't just some gigantic lab session. Hands-on time with Caitlyn, which was really fun, just kind of figuring out the character. And despite what some people might think, no, we're not old pros. We didn't figure her out right away. It took a hot minute. Also in this footage, it was a bit since the last time I played 2XKO, so I'm a little rusty. Please forgive me for that, Riot. I cover a lot of games. Cut me some slack. But yeah, I had a blast playing the character, and I also played against one Lord Jamcrofts, and also Mitchell Salzman of IGN fame. And in this footage, we're just going to talk all things Caitlyn and all things that are new with 2XKO, not the least of which is some of the new amazing skins that are in the game. The arcade skins are fantastic. And that said, don't worry, I gotcha. We all know it's all about costumes and colors, so here's some of the costumes and colors for Caitlyn. So for Caitlyn now, a lot of, they put out footage for Caitlyn, right? So a lot of her moveset's no longer a mystery. Yes, she can shoot. Yes, she can charge her shots. On most of her shots, she can double tap the shot, and she can also charge the second shot as well for an increased and better shot. And yes, you can manually aim where your shots are going up or down. No, this is not some happy chaos auto-zoning sort of deal. If she hits you, she earned it. The projectile hitboxes are not particularly wide, so she generally had to shoot you in the general direction you're in to actually connect. Her gunshot super does indeed have a headshot mechanic. You are heavily incentivized to aim to the enemy's head. If you do, you get bonus damage. And given that her gunshot stuff is so strong, yes, her assists are angled. Either she'll jump up and shoot at a 45-degree angle downward, or aim upwards at a 45-degree angle. They don't want it to be just a straight shot, just like Jinx, and sort of like steal her lunch on that. So if you want a more traditional projectile assist, Jinx is still the way to go. The idea being that, yes, Teemo and Jinx and Caitlyn are all zoners to a degree, but they don't want them playing anything necessarily in the same style. And to that, I think they succeeded. Caitlyn does not play anything like Jinx or Teemo. And it's good because, like, even on his face, right? Teemo lays traps and can zone you out. Caitlyn lays traps and can zone you out. You'd think they're almost the same character to a degree. On paper anyways. But yeah, they are very, very different characters, for sure. Not the least of which, Caitlyn's charged gunshots destroy other projectiles. So if it comes down to a pure, my projectile versus your projectile, old school fireball war, Caitlyn is gonna beat the other characters. Of the zoners, she is the zoner. And to just keep that note in mind, she also has effectively no defense. She has proactive defense by setting up her shield and her traps and controlling avenues of the screen. But when it comes to stuff that's just invincible, she has nothing other than what the basics are. So she can do the universal wake up mechanic, and her level 3 super is invincible, but that's it, that's all. And I don't know for sure, it's hard to tell while you're just kind of mashing with somebody else, right? For the first time ever playing the character, but it would seem that she has less health, but we'll find out. But yeah, so if you just want to mash and have no concept of defense, Caitlyn might be a little bit more rougher. She's definitely a character where you got to plan things out ahead of time. Which I think is good. The game already has enough gorillas. And as a fan of gorillas, sometimes you need something just a little bit different. I will say, with the fact that she can aim her gun and everything, it is super satisfying to have the rifle shot lined up and you kind of tracking the enemy as they're moving and then blast them out of the sky. That's really cool. Or just kind of getting people trying to run underneath you. Also, I was told, although I didn't know it at the time, I believe if you hit dash macro, I think they said, if you hit dash macro while you're aiming, you'll snap your gun to like up or down right away without having to manually bring it up or down. So it just saves you time when you have a split second shot that needs to be made. Also, her combo structure seems pretty interesting. She has lots of things like side switches, overheads that bounce, lots of fun tricks like the fact that I mentioned that you can charge your gun, right? So you can also do a partial charge. As in, hold the shot to get the bonus, but don't necessarily hold it all the way. So I guess similar-ish to like Vi's mechanics, although not as strict. Like, I'm personally usually awful at that kind of stuff, and I didn't struggle too bad on that. I struggled on a lot of other different things, but that wasn't the one I struggled too bad on. But basically, if you're looking for cool looking combos or just otherwise, high intensity skill based combos, she definitely has that. Now, as for what the optimal routes will be, rest assured, I do not know. But at bare minimum, you can definitely ping pong the enemy off the ground over and over again with OTGs and gunshots, and it'll look pretty visually satisfying. Like in a lot of her combos, something as simple as like the trap can restand a lot of people, or just knocking them up and just shooting them out of the sky. Like Caitlyn combo wise, for person who just has a big gun, is a lot more involved than you would otherwise think it could be. So kudos to Riot for that. Like it has the potential to be an uninspired combo moveset, but they make it work. Like look at this nonsense, right? This is one of the advanced combos and it's silly. But long story short, Caitlyn I think is pretty cool. I'm actually sort of interested in playing her myself, which, not normally a zoner player, but then again, I also play NRS games, so then by default, I am a zoner player, right? That's the joke, that's the meme. But anyway, so we also got a new battle pass coming, and it's got all sorts of new costume skins, colors, all that kind of stuff as you would expect from a battle pass, and that'll be new as of this patch. And now, if you did not know from an earlier press release, seasons will not be as myriad as they were going to be before. It's going to be 3 seasons a year now. So you'll have more time to unlock everything in your battle pass, although it won't be at the expense of any new content. The content will flow as planned, just less main ranked seasons for the year. And of course, there's going to be non-stop skins and colors and all that as far as content goes for cosmetics. We're a little starved for cosmetics in fighting games lately, and don't worry, 2XKO's got your back and then some. If you are willing to pay, Riot will gladly take your money. And of course, new characters, new cosmetics, all that kind of stuff. Also, just big balance changes coming as well. Mentioned it in the previous video, but the Braum shield assist change where he moves forward and lasts a lot longer on screen, could not possibly be happier about that. Breathes a lot of life into the character, of course on top of all of his other buffs, and can probably make a lot more teams a lot more fun and interesting. Like that's why I think Caitlyn and Braum's a really fun team, because he can just kind of shield for Caitlyn while she's setting up her zoning, and if you just let him walk in too much, then he's beside you, and then if you just tag into Braum, then 90% of his battle's over because he's already in. So the changes are really good, and like the patch notes are out. We'll have the patch visual guide probably live tomorrow as the time of me making this video. Just give me enough time to make it, please. But yeah, so by the time this video goes live, 2XKO is finally out. How crazy is that? No more early access, no more of the years and years and years of waiting for it to be like properly done. It's done. 2XKO, formerly Project L, was announced in 2019. And that's just when it was announced. Like, to be real, it was an open secret well before that for a very long time as well. Heck, it was even different kind of games. It wasn't always going to be a tag fighter. So all this time, all these years later, and we're finally at the finish line, and it's just sort of crazy. I know some people will say, well, it was too long, right? People lost their interest, and like, I can't fault the fact that, it's definitely been a hot minute. And maybe some people lost their interest, but I'm also seeing a lot of interest personally myself. Like, maybe it took longer than it should have to get where it's going, but now that it's finally here, people are pretty excited. The balance changes are good. The balance changes are smart. Like you could argue, going by the notes, like someone like Yasuo got a slap on the wrist overall, sure. But the characters that really needed help, like Braum, like Blitz, I think they got some pretty significant buffs, especially Braum. It's not going to be one of those cases where there's clearly a character where the developers just don't care about anymore, like say Lily in Street Fighter 6. So the lower tiers are getting love, and that makes me happy that everyone's getting a piece of the pie. All things said, all things told, things are looking up for 2XKO, and now that this is technically the start of the game, even though we've been here for a very long time, it looks like it's got a pretty bright future ahead of it, especially because with Caitlyn launching, we still got 4 more characters to launch for the first year of the game. Lots more characters to come. They will not be characters from Arcane, just FYI. Arcane characters are on a hiatus for a bit. Sorry, Heimendinger fans, another time, another day. I actually have an interview with one of the developers talking on that and many other matters, so look forward as that'll be on the channel soon. But other than that, hey, 2XKO is finally out. Go play it. It's free to play. You don't got to put in any money to invest. And if you do like it, well then you'll probably put in way too much money on like skins and cosmetics. But that's on you. That's your sin to bear. That all said though, my friends, that is it for the video. So stay tuned for more 2XKO coverage on the channel. And until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some 2XKO.
This is the love making.